productivity. What defines the term productivity? I'm yet to understand what defines the term productivity. I do not yet know. But here we are talking about two terms which are like chalk and cheese, which are often considered as anti productivity because if you multitask, you may not complete all the work properly, or the work or the assignments that we get may not be done in a fair manner. And if we procrastinate a work, then we leave it to some other day. I will do it tomorrow. But I think that works. It's fine. Procrastination has nothing to do with productivity, it's absolutely subjective. Talking about subjective and talking about productivity, Australia are 7 for 243. Should they declare? That's the question. Should Australia declare as far as a lead of over 270 is concerned? Because the rain has taken a break, means the rain has stopped, and the match will resume in just a few minutes. But I wouldn't put it past people to even think about this. I think, how do you rationalize things like should Australia declare? It's a catch 22 situation. Australia will have around 120 overs to bowl India out. India has around 120 overs to chase somewhere around 280. And for India, the longer Australia bat, the better it is. Because time is with just 2 hours left. How long can Australia stretch their lead? How many runs do they need to defend to have that confidence that yes, I can? The Australian bowlers tell their captain, now, declare now, so that we can defend a target of 280 with the contention that the Indian batting is slightly on the brittle side. It's not weak, it's brittle. Pressure will surely come into play, but it depends how the top four play before the likes of Mayank Agarwal, Rishabh Pant, and the all-rounders in Thakur and Sundar. Even you don't want Thakur and Sundar to be chasing 100 runs when they are 170 for 6. Not every time will that miracle from 180 for 6 to 336 happen. That's not going to happen every time. So it's a catch 22 situation as far as Australia is concerned. It is something that they need to look at. How long will they bat?
It's 11 hours.
Will they give India around 15 overs before they declare? Will they say no? No, there are around 20 overs, 25 overs remaining with just about 120 minutes left, and the rain also playing an important role. Though, unlike the previous day where the rain washed out the entire 2 hours and session and everything, here the rain has subsided, which is seen as a semblance of good news for everybody as Australia begin their innings, and they have decided not to declare. So right now, only the tail is batting, but what defines tail? I don't think India will mind if Australia bat. The longer Australia bats, the good news is for the Indian team. They will not mind if Australia carry on batting. They'll be more than happy to allow Australia to carry on batting. Before we go further, let's take a short break. So, welcome back after the break as Australia are 7 for 247 with the lead now stretching to around 280, and they are procrastinating their declaration. It's not a straightforward call. It's a lot of decision needs to be made. So after 66.5 overs with Shardul Thakur doing the job he should be doing, Australia are now 7 for 247. So 66.5 overs, and it seems as if Patrick Cummins might have been hit somewhere on the shoulder or the helmet. So more time will be taken out, though the physio has been sent back by the fast bowler. And of course, these fast bowlers will remember what the Indian fast bowlers are doing right now, and they will try to repeat that. But yes, the pitch is deteriorating, and as a few counterfeit experts said, it's not going to be easy to bat. Yes, it's a good pitch. If you are settled on it, you have a chance to do the job you have been sent out to do. So, as the final ball of the 6th, 7th over, Cummins lets this go at 7 for 247. Right now, it's a straightforward situation. What should to declare or not to declare? How much time remains? Possibly around 20 overs remain for today, including the change-ups and everything. So let's look at 17 overs remain right now, depending on the rain playing a factor. The rain, which possibly was during the tea break, so nothing lost for anyone. So rain playing a huge role as far as the shortening of the sessions are concerned. So they would have started around this time. They can take it to 1 o'clock Indian time and 5:30 local time. They won't go make it beyond that because of the time restrictions. But at 7 for 247, as Siraj, another bowler who has been impressive in this tournament, has made his way with two as Stark is batting. Do Australia want to risk? Because this is now a risk. Can India clean up these three? I think if this was, I think the Australian team doesn't have confidence in his bowlers that they are still there, because there is a comparison made to the more mediocre teams of the 2000, which were mediocre in every sense, because their batting lineup was brittle and their bowling lineup was fluke. The likes of McGrath, Vaughan, Lee was a good bowler, and McGrath, Vaughan, I wouldn't give them much of a chance. And then Ponting and Slater and Hayden, not much of a chance again. So this is a slightly more confident Australian bowling, and this would have never happened 20, 30 years ago. One would not even talked about how India has done well in this tournament. Like a boxing match, they keep giving back the punches. And when I hear terms like cricket is a gentleman's game or the most sophisticated game ever played, I disagree. It is, I think, if two individuals come eye to eye, close to close, should there be shoving and pushing? Yes, go for it. Shove and push. couple of knockout blows to the gut, give it. Couple of knee strikes to the face, do it. Couple of uppercuts using your hands and not the bat and the ball. I don't mind a little bit of sparring. As Stark tries to swing, he has been sent with the instructions. Well, you are the all-rounder, Stark and Cummins, to do what Stark and Cummins do best, do your job. That's how this is defined. But coming to it being a sophisticated game, it is not a sophisticated game. The rules are vague when it comes to factors like rain or the role the empires play. I think that is the most unsophisticated game ever. But in the mindset of being colonialist or and all those factors, once again Stark decides to go and he has been dismissed. So Siraj gets his fourth wicket. Stark departs trying to hit the ball over the mid-on fielder, but a good catch taken, and Siraj gets his fourth wicket. Someone who was not even someone who was in the fringe elements is now without. Of course, the story will be no Bumrah, no Shami, no Umesh, no Bhuvneshwar Kumar, no Ishan Sharma, and then the job is done by the likes of Siraj, Saini, Thakur. So Stark departs for 2-4 for 1, it's 8 for 2-4-7. And Australia still have not declared. It baffles me. Don't they have confidence in their bowlers to make sure that the match doesn't go away from them? Because this is baffling. Why time is running out? It can rain. Yes, they can still bowl out India. 280 won't be easy to chase. It's a tricky situation for both the teams as Nathan Lyon walks in. Now it's just delaying the inevitable. Now they're multitasking. The coach is thinking. He is thinking, should I declare? Should I give 15, 16 overs? Let my fast bowlers rush in through. They have Rohit and the likes of Pujara has batted well, but he struggles against Cummins. Should I have Cummins open? And then just he's also multitasking. On one hand, he wants his team to score as much as possible. On the other hand, he thinks, will my bowlers have time? Or do they think that India is brittle enough that they will not chase 280? At this point, India, yes, unless a collapse happens and they're bowled out for 30, 40, which can happen, nobody's denying that. This is a sign that they don't have confidence that they can bowl out. As Nathan Lyon plays the first ball, a straight drive beats the fielder, Saini goes chasing after it, and Mayank Agarwal does, and Natarajan does the job, and 250 comes up for Australia. Right now, it's all about how much will Australia stretch. Maybe they want to be bowled out. So this is in tune with tonight's theme. They are procrastinating the declaration. Is it about they don't have the faith in the productivity of their bowlers being productive, that their bowlers can bowl out India for a low score, or do they think that the what the likes of the all-rounders Sundar, a Sundar innings going by his name, and Thakur living up to his surname did? Do they think that that can happen? Well, I think this match, if Australia bat for all as long as they would, this match will go towards a draw. It is a possibility. Anything is possible. But before we go further into this, let's take a short break. welcome back after the break as Australia are a 8 for 250, and while the coach and the team management along with the captain debate whether they should declare or they should let it be carry on for as long as possible. Let's read something from David Baldacci's The Fix, chapter 5. Albert Drews was in his 40s and volunteered that he had final stage pancreatic cancer. He was pale and thin, and his skin looked brittle and jaundiced. By the time I had any symptoms, it was too damn late, he said after they had introduced themselves and shown him their IDs. Chemo radiation kicked the out of me. Then I go into remission for about 2 months. Then it comes back like a hurricane, and now this is it. He stopped talking and started breathing heavily as though this bit of speaking had exhausted him. When his lungs settled down, he said, "You are lucky you caught me now. When my pain meds kick in, I'm out for the count. Morphine, don't know what I would do
Know that again
without it."
they allowed India back to just control the.
Let's continue. There was a slight technical error. When his lungs settled down, he said, "You are lucky you caught me now. When my pain meds kick in, I'm out for the count. Morphine, don't know what I would do without it. The pain, well, it's not nice," he added resignedly. "I'm sorry to be bothering you, Mr. Drews," said Decker. Drews waved this off. "It's not like I've got anything else to do except lie here and wait to die. We understand that Anne Berkshire came to you, came to talk to you today, as Australia are 253 for 8 in 68.4 overs. This morning, why?" Decker decided to tell the truth. "She was shot and killed this morning in DC, shortly after she left here." "What?" gasped Bruce,
It's 11:50.
rising up on his elbows. He started to cough. Milligan poured out a glass of water from a carafe on the nightstand and helped Drews drink it. He shot Decker a stern look and then stepped back with the empty glass. Drews finally settled down and stared helplessly up at them as Thakur bowls the final ball. This time, Cummins pulls away to fine leg, ends the over. Australia continue to bat at 8 for 254. And shot. How? Why? We don't know why. That's why we are here. But I don't know anything. You may know more than you think, said Decker. What did you two talk about today? His brows knitted. Drews said, "She was a nice lady. Started visiting me about 4 weeks ago. We just talked about things. Nothing in particular, nothing of importance, just things to pass time, take my mind off my situation." Did she talk about herself? Sometimes. She said she was a school teacher, she wasn't married, no children. As Siraj bowls to Cummins, Cummins defends, and Australia continue to bat, which is baffling. They're just in delaying the inevitable of a draw. What did you do before you became sick? Asked Milligan. I was a software engineer with a local tech company. His eyes closed and he started breathing deeply. Are you okay? Asked Milligan. Drews opened his eyes as this ball beats everyone, goes past the stumps, past the keeper, towards the boundary. Australia are 8 for 258. No, I'm not okay. I am terminal. All right, I'm dying. I'm sorry, Mr. Drews. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry, Milligan added in a concrete voice. Decker studied Drews. Did you ever talk with Mrs. Berkshire about the work you did? No. What would have been the point? Just chit chat? No, and that seems like a lifetime ago. I barely remember it. You were not married. How do you know that? No ring on your finger and no mark that showed a ring used to be there. After a moment, he said resignedly, I never met the right woman, I guess. This time, once again, come in pulls and they will try and come back for 2 runs and a bit of misfield and they come back and it only take 1 run. And as the lead approaches 300, but I think they should have declared by now. Parents still alive? Bruce shook his head. I've got a brother, but he lives in Australia. He came up when I got sick and stayed a while, but he had to get back. He has 5 kids. Bruce paused. He'll come back for the funeral. He's my executor. I'm being cremated. Makes it easier all around. Bruce closed his eyes and his lips trembled, but then he reopened them and sighed as Lion flicks for a single. You never think you can talk so candidly about coming death, but when you don't have a choice, you just do. What do the doctors say? Asked Decker. Drew shrugged. Some days it feels like tomorrow will be it. Some days I hope tomorrow will be it. We are sorry to have bothered you, Mr. Drews. We appreciate your help. As Decker rose, Drews put out a hand and tight and lightly gripped Decker's fingers. The man's skin felt like ice and was really nice. As the fifth ball of the 70th over gets ready, good bouncer, and the Australian bowlers will pay that in cash and kind. She didn't have to come here and do what she did, but she wanted to. I hope you find whoever did this. We already found him, Mr. Drews, said Decker. Now we just have to find out why he did it. This ends on a hazy, foggy Monday morning, episode number 314 on the 18th of January as Swaraj bowls in the last ball. The over finishes on the 18th of January 2021. Stay tuned for the next episode. In fact, it was called a while. So let's wait a while the final ball of the 70th over will be bowled. As he bowls the final ball of the 70th over. This time Cummins defense. It's 8 for 261, a lead of 294.